I sit down in the chair and I ask our illustrious leader for the week, Chris Cody, where is everybody? Where's Amin? The answer is, I think he's pooping. And I ask,
Let me check the group chat.
Yeah.
Yep, he is.
I ask, where is Stugotz? And the answer was stunning because I thought it would be, we don't know. He's off gallivanting following the Grateful Dead again. But the answer was actually, he's in makeup.
Look at us. I actually have makeup on, too.
I'm pissed because I was supposed to go right after Chris did, and then Roy sat in the chair ahead of me, and then Stu sits in the chair after him, and now I'm makeupless. And I feel pretty washed out back here.
Look at us. Huh?
We have makeup.
We've arrived.
Well, you guys have. I, like Jeremy, am still waiting to get makeup because everybody was in the chair before me. So I never got a chance to actually get makeup. But is it that obvious? Stugotz is now sitting in the chair.
Hey, Dan.
Sitting in the chair. Roy, do you see? You don't look any different to me, Roy. I don't know. You always look like you're gleaming at all. What you always look like is you have a gleam that's around a perpetual brooding. So your skin always looks lovely. You always look on camera wonderful, but I can't tell the difference between now and when you don't have makeup.
Well, I don't look any different because I didn't get makeup because I was told Stugotz actually had to sit down. So they threw me out.
Right.
It takes a long time to make this face look good.
You look radiant. You look radiant.
Well, I don't know that they have made that face look good.
A forest of yuck.
You guys tell me, Tony, what is your appraisal right here as Stugotz sits in the seat and what he's got on his face, I would say, is
a nose.
Well, yeah, if you want to keep going there, you could take us through it. But I was going to say more generally a battering from whatever psychedelics he's been doing as he's followed the dead on the road for many, many years. He's wearing it on his face. And he did make time to be late to get makeup, but he didn't make time to shave that same face so that it would have makeup that would make him look better.
No, the beard makes him look like Stugotz. The thing about psychedelics, Dan, I've been told, is like it's a roller coaster. Sometimes you're way up, sometimes you're way down, and maybe we're just on the downslope.
We are on the downslope. I can confirm that. Listen, it's been a tough month. It's been a tough couple of months, but Dead and Company, they're done. I appreciate everything they did. It was a great run. But, Dan, we are done. I am back. I'm getting in shape. I'm going to doctors. I'm seeing a dentist today. How about that? I mean,
I sit down in that makeup chair, and I'm just like, I'm sorry for what you have to deal with this group. Like, it's just like, this can't be the highlight for her. It's just like, it's me. She's giving me and Stugotz makeup. Like, I was talking to her. I'm like, who have you done any? She's like, I've done Jason Taylor. I'm like, this is not Jason Taylor you're dealing with right here.
I've known Stugotz for 20 years.
Yeah.
He's gone to the dentist like maybe 25 times to get root canals.
Yeah.
It's bad.
I lead the league in root canals. You're right.
Well, no, what you lead the league in is getting out of stuff saying you have to get a root canal.
Is there a better excuse out there than that? A root canal, that's just...
Well, but the thing is, he never disappears after the root canal to take the proper healing. He'll show up the next day after the alleged root canal.
You're supposed to take a day off?
Well, I don't
After a root canal?
I think that root canals, if you work with your voice and mouth for a living, my guess would be, I don't know, but my guess would be that there would be some rest and repair required there before you just thundered back in. Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Does a person who works with a microphone need to take a day off after they've had a root canal?
Google says you do not need to take a day off the next day. The day of, you're off.
But that's not someone who talks for a living.
Yeah.
Playing in pain,
it doesn't
Dan.
specify you at all.
The great ones do. The great ones play through pain, Dan.
I tell my teeth, not today. I mean.
Real talkers know.
He has not been taking care of himself.
I haven't.
I would appreciate if your psychedelic highs that are spent away from here with the dead didn't produce the lows that we're paying you for. I would like it better if the lows were elsewhere and the highs are something we could profit from, because after a month of rest, you came in here and you blowtorched my face with the best take you've had in 18 years, accusing me of being a sellout. We could get it from you. When you've had a month off following the dead, you'll give us 90 good seconds.
Right. But let's be clear here. Are you telling me to get high before the show? Like, what are we doing here?
I am telling you.
You want me to take mushrooms?
What I want you to do.
Because I will.
What I want is, and what I've never had, and what I long for
Yeah.
is the best, hungriest, most available version of Stugotz that's not tired, broken down, slurring,
Right.
falling apart, physically hiding under the same hat he's been wearing for 17 months.
This is a different one, okay? Same brand, Travis Matthew, but a different hat.
Okay.
Okay?
Excellent. It looks cleaner. It looks much cleaner.
Yes.
Then the other one was
It hasn't absorbed as many cigarettes as the other one.
This one does look cleaner. I will apologize to you. I am sorry. You are right again. You're winning all the arguments against me this week. That hat does indeed look cleaner than the one that had cancer on it.
Hey.
Well, I'm just telling you the hat. The hat was in
a doctor.
It was in bad shape. I could have diagnosed it on sight.
It also looks cleaner compared to the rest of his body.
We can't get makeup for his entire body. Yesterday and this week, I've been talking about Stugotz, the sheer insanity that is Heat Twitter, and it is a wonderful, magical thing. But I have something locally, actually, that I believe to be, it's a bit of a dormant volcano, or if not a dormant volcano, something that has spouted on occasion but doesn't rival Heat Twitter, but certainly can. Dolphin Twitter.
Oh, boy.
And specifically, and this one I think can knock off Heat Twitter, Tua Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
I believe, because the hype around the Dolphins right now, you got all sorts of people. It's nuts, man. It's not just Tyreek Hill saying, 2,000 yards for me, and we're going to win the Super Bowl. There are all sorts of Louis Riddicks out there and Emmanuel Achos who are saying the 9-8 Dolphins, by adding Vic Fangio and a defense that is good if it stays healthy, although I do worry about whether Xavier Howard could be what you need him to be anymore, because it didn't look like it last year.
Jalen Ramsey is there, though.
I understand. Also older, but I understand why the hype's there, and I'm not even here to question it. There are just 1,000 things that can happen to a football team, no matter how good it is, unless you have Patrick Mahomes. Unless you have the quarterback that you know is going to be out there all the time, which the Dolphins have kind of the opposite of that. They have the opposite of quarterback I know is going to be out there all the time. I understand every reason for Dolphin hope and hype, and all I'm telling you is after watching the Dolphins the entirety of this century, I fear every reason for hope and hype. And right there with them, right next to them, the New York Jets. And I'm like, this is bizarro world. My adult life does not know what it's like for the Patriots to be at the bottom of this and for the Dolphins and the Jets to be at the top of it.
Jake Owen and them boys.
Dolphins with expectations, it's like I don't know what to do with my hands. It's like in a picture, I don't know what to do. I don't know how this feels. This whole expectations, people think we're going to be good. I'm used to people thinking we're going to be terrible.
There's a difference, though. You guys ready for it? Tua's a bad boy now.
It's true.
What happened?
Tua's a bad boy now.
He got a sleeve tattoo.
A sleeve tattoo. He isn't showing anybody until training camp. He's got a long sleeve over it. He's been wearing it for the entirety of the summer. He's a bad boy now. That changes things.
So Tua's going to die of dehydration before
That's
the
what
season
I was
starts
going to say.
with
His arm is going to shrivel into a bone just because you can't be wearing long
You got to
sleeves.
keep that arm ready
in the
to go.
summer in
That's the
Florida?
thing.
What are you
That is
doing?
be all right.
insanity.
A tattoo?
You talked about the injuries. There's a clip in quarterback of Patrick Mahomes just being like, during the Jags game when he hurt his leg, where they're like, we're taking you out for an x-ray. He's like, bleep no, like he is fighting it. And I imagine Tua is just like, all right, cool. Like, Tua, we're going to sit you here. All right, cool. See you later.
Tony, is it a tattoo or is it an entire arm's worth of tattoos?
An entire arm's worth from shoulder to wrist. He's only playing coy and showing a little bit above the watch right now.
Is it the left or the right?
The watch.
Do we know?
This is an important factor.
Do we know if this is cultural, if this is something that he's doing on behalf of his people, or is he going like with motorcycle gang tattoos?
I don't think it's motorcycle gang tattoos. I think it's definitely tribal or Hawaiian style. So, but it proves something.
But
shows,
it
hey,
doesn't prove anything. But
no, it does. It means, hey, I'm here.
Okay.
And I'm a bad boy.
Hey, I'm here is not, I mean.
Tua hasn't had that game yet. Hey, I'm here game. This season?
He hasn't?
No, not yet.
Well, it's impossible
for
this
6
season.
touchdowns and a half, right?
Not yet.
He hasn't had the hey, I'm here game.
This season.
Well, this season
Oh,
he
this
certainly hasn't have it. But has he had it in his career? The "Hey, I'm here" game.
I feel like he has.
Got to do it in
Tony.
a big spot.
I just think that everything around Tua has the chance to be as delightfully unreasonable as, what do you mean Hero's better than Maxi?
Just want to say Tua had a game with 469 yards and 6 touchdowns
What
against
week?
Baltimore.
That's
What
a
week
game.
was that?
Yeah.
That was the game. That was early last season. Baltimore, they were down by 1,000,000 points, and that's where I would say the expectation started, right there, that game. That's where, since then, that's where we've been like, oh, maybe it can be Tua slings it all over the field because you add Tyreek Hill, and that's enough. Dalvin Cook will help them, Stugotz. They can do a lot with whoever it is their running backs are, but I think what people are banking on is they know the Dolphin offense will be good if it can stay healthy.
Of course.
Because they think, well, you say of course, but 20 years I've had bad Dolphin offenses, and 20 years I've had people who can't block for the quarterback in Dolphin offenses. So you say of course, but I'm like, nah, if Tyreek Hill gets hurt, I'm not so of course. Like, I don't know, maybe, but I'm not quite as, of course, the Dolphin offense is going to be good if Waddle misses 3 games over here and Tyreek misses 6 games over here and Tua misses, 4 games over here.
But health is a big part that goes into any NFL team's success. It does. Your quarterback needs to stay healthy. Your best players need to stay healthy. If they're not, you're not going to have a good season. But if Tua could somehow figure out to start 15 games, 14 games, the Dolphins should be really, really good.
Their offense should be really, really good. And a lot of people are assuming because Fangio is there, and simply because Fangio is there. Like, it really is simply because Fangio is there, because that defense had a lot of good players last year and was not a top 5 defense. It wasn't.
Right.
What's the reason to think that it's not a good addition? Like, his defenses have been good everywhere he's been.
But this is why it's happening, and I'm simply telling you, what do you believe in more? I understand you're all hopeful. The name Vic Fangio?
Fangs.
Or that the Dolphins have sucked this entire century?
Dan, you finished last segment. I'm proud of you because you finished it with a sports radio trick, okay? You said the Dolphins have been bad the entire century. It sounds so good, like they've been bad for 100 years, but we're only 23 years in to this century. They have 77 more years to go. But I like how you finished it because you can't say the last 23 years. You have to say the last century. It feels like 100 years, even though it's not. Well done. I mean, I'm proud of you.
Well,
little sports radio trick.
You are giving away the secrets, and I just feel totally unmasked right now because you're absolutely right. I feel nude. I feel like I'm doing this right now in front of the audience, totally nude. Such a good scene I have not seen before at the end of the most recent episode of Righteous Gemstones, where there's a fight scene with a dude who's got frontal nudity. There's just a complete fight scene. I'm like, I've never seen this actually done before, where this is uproariously funny because there is an action scene with a man who is totally nude. And what they're doing on Righteous Gemstones in general, I just can't believe no one's done it before now. It is so smart to make fun of religion this way, just so cartoonishly, so satirically, that even if you're religious, I'm not even sure how mad you can get about it.
I hope there were no hard feelings.
Go sit in the penalty box for 2 minutes.
Come on.
You deserve it.
But my wife and I, while watching it, because the culprit in question who was fighting the nude scene with frontal nudity was masturbating when the fight started, I and my wife more than me, pointed out, a little bit to my horror, hey, he was doing it the hard way before, but now that they're fighting, he's no longer hard, and it would have been funnier, and it would have been if he had been.
Where'd that punch come from?
She's absolutely right. She could not honestly,
My God.
be more right.
Oh, my Lord.
You tell me that there would be. It was funny enough as it was. The scene was funny enough because he'd been caught masturbating and he was hard then. And then the fight started and he no longer was, as one would suspect. Put it on the poll, please, Juju. Does your erection go down if you're in a physical fight?
Blood flow,
Lord.
Dano.
Oh, my Lord.
Maybe it doesn't. Maybe Stugotz is right. Maybe blood flow. But in this particular case, I wasn't able to suspend disbelief because I'm like, yeah, not aroused anymore, and it would have been funnier. And you can't dispute it would have been funnier if it had been wait till you guys, in fact, I'm going to go in there during the break and show you just this fight scene so that you can see.
You going to reenact it? No.
Reenact it, yes.
Go sit in the penalty box. Go sit in the penalty box with Jeremy. I wasn't saying reenact it.
I'm in.
I heard it the same way as Roy. I mean,
You're going to do a live segment. Nude?
You might want to clear out that room out there.
Chris?
Are you or are you not on the YouTube channel about to do something live apart from our show?
We are in this next break. If you're watching live on YouTube, I'm going to take you around the studio. A little commercial break entertainment for you guys coming at you.
nice.
But not the way that I wanted it to, which is you walk into a room and for some reason Amin is fighting Andrew Hawkins and one of them is nude. Can you not do that for me?
Nothing gets you out of the mood quicker than a fight, though. Like, if I was in the middle of something
Right.
and then all of a sudden a fight breaks out, like, I understand why this guy went from, midnight to 6. Or from 12 to whatever the saying is. He went the opposite.
Right.
What's the opposite of 12 to midnight?
I don't know. I want to leave you here to drown.
I believe on the clock.
Clock.
Cluh.
I believe on the clock. Noon and midnight are in the same place. It's not even 12.
I don't get that saying. Isn't that a saying? Go from 12 to midnight.
I think it's from 6 to midnight.
It's noon to 6.
That would be down. 6
Right.
to midnight. Now it makes sense.
Well, this
I'm gonna
fighter
go.
went noon to 6, right?
No, you can't send yourself to the penalty box.
You'll miss the reenactment.
Which is now gone to you. Your penalty is that during the
No one
YouTube
wants to see
commercial break, you have to figure out a way to make the audience feel like you're actually doing that. I know that for human resource purposes, I can't actually do it, of having you walk around nude. I can't even badger you on air to take your shirt off, but I wish for you to find the comedic way to somehow, during whatever it is you're doing during the live break, make people feel like someone is fighting nude.
I'd rather take my pants off than my shirt.
Whoa.
Really?
We've done this, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't want any part of anyone seeing the entire freckled, hairless mass, because I do imagine it's hairless. All of you imagine that it's hairless, correct? You don't think that Chris Cody has hair on his chest, do you?
I haven't worked long enough here to imagine Chris Cody with the shirt off at all.
I'm glad you don't have an opinion on that. That'd be odd.
I feel like I shouldn't.
I see a little taco meat in his future.
I have some hair in my chest. I'll show you. I can show you if you
But
want.
I have
I'd
it
like
wrong.
to see it.
I have it wrong. Then I have it wrong that in assuming I'm doing this to him.
Look
because,
at that.
Yeah, there is hair.
Little fuzz.
It is. I didn't imagine you. Oh, we're getting up close in there. But still, on the camera,
Wow.
it doesn't look like there's very much hair, and it doesn't look like hair. Is that because you had makeup?
Zagak.
You're right, though, Stugotz. I have been unmasked by saying that the Dolphins haven't been any good this century. I am doing a rhetorical trick. However, I will tell you as we head into this football season how mouth hanging open, flabbergasting it is to me that I can say that, at least in part, the reason they haven't been any good is because the Patriots have been way, way, way too good. So in the same division, they have a standard for excellence that for 20 years is unlike anything we've ever seen, not just in this sport. Tom Brady as an entity doesn't exist anywhere in team sports. And so to have that at the top of your division has forced even franchises that were as historically substantive as the New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins to complete afterthoughts for more than a generation. Many fans listening to this who are 25 don't remember the Dolphins being any good and have a Mark Sanchez 2 years of the Jets being any good. But if you are listening to this, and you might be under 30, you don't know what it's like for the Dolphins to have expectations, for the Jets to have very many expectations, and never for the both of them to have expectations. And at least in part that happens because the Dolphins and Jets are a little better, but mostly it happens because the Patriots are a lot worse.
As a 25-year-old, you could be totally making up that the Dolphins were good before the century. I would have no idea.
No, Lucy. Winningest franchise in sports the Dolphins have given away
Yeah, you hear that?
over the last 25 years.
How do I know you're not lying?
This is such a better game to play than the one we did with Mina, who knew so little about ESPN when she arrived that we could give her facts like Rush Limbaugh worked for ESPN, and she'd think they were fiction. Or Tony Kornheiser was on Monday Night Football, and she'd be like, that can't possibly be true, because she didn't know anything about ESPN. As someone almost born this century, Lucy, my guess is that we can trick you with all sorts of things about how good the Dolphins used to be. There's an expressway going through this town. The coach is dead now, but Don Shula won more than anyone. Like Belichick is...
the Don Shula.
Great expressway, by the way.
Rest in power.
Belichick is still way behind Shula, isn't he? Did he pass
career
him?
wins?
Did he pass him? Whatever.
Well, he passed him in Super Bowls.
What? Yes, he did. That's the measurement.
Yes.
But I'm
the only one that matters.
I believe the longevity of Shula makes it so that Belichick, it's almost impossible for even someone like Belichick to get there.
Lucy just said, who's Ron Shula?
I don't know anyone named Ron.
Do you not really know that you? It can't be that you don't know the name.
Yeah, I was just kidding.
Don Shula's got 328 wins. Papa Bear George Halas has 318, and Belichick's got 298.
Wow.
So he's going to get there in a couple. Maybe.
About 7 years.
It'd be great if the Dolphins could keep him from doing it because they get as good as everyone thinks they're going to be. Because I'm scared of everyone thinking they're going to be good. And it's not even fair to them, honestly, because I believe in this coaching staff. I believe in the skill that they have on offense. I believe that they can mask not being able to block people with scheme. And I believe their defense is going to be good. So if they stay healthy, I expect them to be good. But I think the Bills are better.
What I'm scared of, Dan, is the AFC. Is that conference. I think the Dolphins are good. I think they're a talented team. I think the Jets are good. I think the Jets are a talented team. But when you have the Bills, when you have the Bengals, when you have the Ravens, when you have the Jaguars, when you have the Kansas City Chiefs, the Chargers, the Broncos should be better. The Raiders could be decent. I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough conference. Dan, all these teams are good.
But wait, hold on.
They're good teams.
Hold on, Stugotz. Just let me stop you for just a second.
Left out the Browns.
You just named every team.
Because every team's good in the AFC.
No, but they're not. No, come on,
Dan.
Stugotz. The expectations in the AFC for the Dolphins and the Jets, there are two. I'm going to say the Bills and the Chiefs. I'm just talking.
Bengals.
Bengals. They're your expectation. The expectations are, can we beat those teams? Are we contenders for the Super Bowl? Don't put Denver in there. Don't put the Raiders in there. You can think they're good, but no. We're talking about the Dolphins have climbed higher than they've ever climbed this century to expectations because they're better than most people think they're better than most of the teams you just named.
Derek Carr did just speak to Stugotz's point where he was just like, yo, this conference looks a little like my path looks a little easier here. So, I mean, he's right. I get what you're saying.
I understand what he's saying. There is a lot of traffic there, and in that league, when you're good, you can beat the great, so they could lose 8 games to some of those teams because those teams, obviously, in a league of parity, that conference is stronger. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying the Dolphins have now been put in the tier where people think they're at the top 4 of that conference. That's not something I've seen in a minute.
Stu, you and Carr saying the same thing because you were cutting it up in Tahoe?
Yeah, we were.
Is it time to go through the schedule?
Not yet.
Win-loss?
No,
not yet.
Dan,
Too early.
Dan,
am
are
ready.
you ready?
No, it's too early.
Come on,
for that.
Dan.
Dan, in reality,
too
though,
early.
looking at it
We'll
objectively,
do it again.
the metrics on the Dolphins pass game are elite. You're looking at yards per pass attempt, they're number 1. You're looking at that efficiency on pass rush, they're number 1. Like, all these things are really good.
Agreed. Like, their advanced metrics are really good, and that's why the expectation. I'm not saying they're a fraudulent team. I'm just saying a lot of shit can happen in football.
You don't know what to do with your hands. I'm with you.
Yes.
It's like we have expectations, and we're like, what
have
do we do?
those. I have those same expectations.
Week 1 at the Chargers.
No, don't do it on God
It's a
Bless
loss. He said
Football.
no.
I can't do it.
I will.
I can't.
He said no, it's a loss.
I can't do it with Billy not here. I can't. You have heard me, if you've been along for the ride of Meadowlark Media over the last 3 years, sort of lament that things were really hard, that it was just hard to build a business, and it has infected the way that I do some of this, because this is a joyous thing that we do, and it should feel joyous. And you may have felt yesterday that the show had some of the elements in it that you have missed recently, as I've been on my hands and knees here for a while, crawling over to what is a sanctuary for me, the doing of this, because I enjoy it so much, and it's medicine. And it's not a joyous place I visit very often. I've had trouble with joy over the course of my life. So to have something shared here where we fool around on stuff, you may have heard or felt it yesterday. And one of the difficulties in the way the show has changed as we brought on new people, because this needs to get younger and smarter, is learning how to do the show in tight spaces when you're the sixth voice and you don't want to interrupt what everyone else is doing. It leaves, for example, Tony in a very difficult spot since he's joined us for 18 months, where he's trying to get in a 10th window, and asshole Billy Gill won't let him. And so it makes it very difficult. We were up against the break at the end of the last segment. And Tony knows I've got a choice here. I can be really, really good in a confident, strong place, giving something that's data-driven, even though it's outside my character as the Cuban meathead. Or I can throw the show back to Dan quickly because we're up against the clock, and if I blow this, that's not going to feel very good to anybody, because live television is hard. And so he sped through some advanced stats, even though I would say Tony I'd be careful with this, but Tony probably knows more football than I think anybody in the room. Maybe Stugotz and Billy would dispute it.
No, I wouldn't.
I know more than Billy for sure.
Well, Billy's the Duke, and you've got a lot of catching up to do. He's the international insider, sixth. I think he's fifth or sixth in the world. God
right
bless.
behind David Sampson.
I think he's up to 3. Sampson came in at 9.
Regardless, The Guardian knows internationally that we're a football expert show. God Bless Football with Billy and Stugotz is an award-winning monster. It's a giant. It is a football powerhouse. People in football know about this show, and the Duke is rising in the rankings casually, barely trying. Basically, all he knows about football is fantasy, but they've made him an insider because they like God Bless Football. That's what's really happened here. And so now Tony's trying to climb up in the company around Billy, who won't let him. And Tony knows that one of the openings for him against Billy, like this one's not in dispute, is I'll crush him with facts. Wait till I give him numbers, but Billy will go, meh. And then I'll have to scatter and
go, wow.
Yeah, right. That's correct. And then
I feel like you, Dan.
No, but then he'll put on his Tua jersey and he'll put on his Dolphin cap and see he's been there since the beginning. He's learned a lot from Stugotz. Okay,
So proud of him.
I mean, yes, he's learned a lot in 20 years.
My guy.
Yes, he will show up at the end of this. Watch, Tua, let me get your autograph. I've been with you all the way. But the stats you were trying to give, and we could slow down because there's more room in here today. Hey, Mike's not here today. That allows for some more air in that room. Billy's not here today. It allows for more confidence, less anarchy. There's just more room. So I ask you to speak slowly and to tell the people in the new incarnation of whatever this show will be, because we have forced all of you on our audience, whether they like you or not, and you've had to learn how to do the show very quickly. And Lucy thinks that it's Ron Shula, and also she said during the break as all of this was happening, and Tony's lamenting, Dan, what I was trying to do is... Lucy's like, this is the weirdest place I've ever worked.
It is.
Because... Like, what was, I don't mean generally, but I mean.
Asking me to get nude last segment, maybe?
Well, but is that what.
Just took his shirt off. Do you really have to ask why I think it's weird to work here?
His shirt. It wasn't just his shirt. I'm hoping that what television caught is once he got past the shirt, he was nude and he was fighting me and I was on the floor. And I don't know if our camera crew works quickly enough to be able to get that, but I just had what can end Meadowlark Media right now and Stugotz's career and maybe mine and create a great scandal. Is what you just saw is Stugotz nude vibrating against me in a way that was uncomfortable and is a sexual discrimination lawsuit waiting to happen. I'm hoping that's what cameras caught. I don't know what cameras caught. But we need to start using this studio and this space better than we have, because they told me yesterday, because it's been 2.5 years, and Jason comes up to me yesterday and says, "Hey, Dan, we can use the upstairs in the pool now." And I don't trust you, Jason. Like, no, he'll earn it. He'll learn it or he won't. But I don't trust us to be able to execute. I've tried to throw people outside this studio multiple times. We have failed with it each time. I don't know what's up at the pool. But Chris, are you willing to go to the pool and do a report from the pool, or send somebody as the executive producer of the show?
Pool day? I'll go.
I love that.
No, I'll send somebody.
No, you just thought of taking your shirt off, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'll go. All right, Tony's going.
All right, but before you go, do you want to give us, how about this, Tony? How about you go up there? I don't trust this at all. I don't believe Jason will be able to execute this. But what I want you to do is I want you to go up there, lay out by the Elser Pool. It's lovely here. We do it from here every day, and it's a luxury hotel. We are in very, very good surroundings. I want you to go up there and Miami style, laying by the pool, that is our 9th or 10th floor by the giant gym. I want you to give me all of those advanced stats while stunning slowly. The floor will be yours, and you will tell me why the Dolphins are going to be good this year. You will be able to talk for as long as you like.
Gotcha, Dano.
I just want Jason to know, hey, I got confidence in you.
I
You're
believe
gonna
in you,
crush
Jason.
this. The video team is going to pull this off seamless, and I'm going to go 12 to midnight.
All right, seamlessly.
Lee, yes.
Seamlessly. Chris,
Seamless.
Well, Stugotz, I want you to help me here, okay? Because
Seamless is fine.
This should go well.
As my partner in building this nonsense that we have built, somehow, I don't understand how it happened. It's ridiculous to say. Chris Cody rising up from fired by ESPN to having
Let go.
to having the what seems like the angle of leadership that will allow him to become the executive producer of the show, so Hollywood producer Mike Ryan can get to other projects with Adam McKay and Mike Schur.
It should have been seamlessly. Damn, I was wrong.
It was seamlessly, but I think you're right, Chris. And you made me look in the mirror the other day, and this is what a good executive producer does. I didn't like what I saw when I looked in the mirror, because you told me correctly, Dan, you know what I meant, and you corrected me anyway. And I looked in the mirror and I said, asshole move by me.
Spidley.
The Spidley Kevin Durant. I did know what he meant. I felt the need on behalf of the audience to explain the joke, which is, God, if that doesn't make you hate me more than anything. Because I'm always trying to be inclusive. And you don't explain the joke. It's fun. Yeah, I don't want to either. But if you want new listeners, which people want, you got to teach them so they don't feel outside. I hate explaining this shit. It makes me fucking crazy. But Lucy is here. I do. I've never had to talk about any of this shit. Explain this shit to anybody.
It's weird.
It hurts. It hurts. And while grappling a nude spider monkey in the corner during the breaks.
Oh, my Lord.
I need to see the video of that.
Now.
Because I was crawling around trying to crawl away from it, because a fully frontal nude Stugotz was just on YouTube scampering after me.
I'm pretty jacked, huh?
Well, we'll have to see from the back, because I'm not sure what they got on camera. I need to see all of this. Hopefully we can run it in a corner during the show, during what remains of the show, because they just have this. I'm telling you, I've never seen it in a fight scene before. You tell me, at Le Batard Show, Juju, have you ever seen a fight scene in a movie 2 minutes long with one man being totally nude?
Ironically, based off of what I said last segment about No Hard Feelings, the movie No Hard Feelings with Jennifer Lawrence, that's what's going on. Full frontal nude fight scene.
For how long?
For long enough, Dan.
Okay.
Huh.
But was it funny frontal nude?
It was very funny.
Okay. I'd never seen it before. It's a new form of comedy for me. Maybe Danny McBride stole it from them, but I just think Righteous Gemstones is brilliant.
Slightly different between Danny McBride and Jennifer Lawrence in that capacity, but yes.
Yes, but thank you. I appreciate you sharing.
You got it, Dan.
Now, why is Amin running in here? Host of...
He said, you're going to do Gemstones talk without me?
He's going to tell you there's plenty of fight scenes where people are nude. I guarantee it.
Dude, that last episode of Gemstones. Yeah. First of all, shout out to my guy Tim Baltz, who plays BJ on the show.
Tim Balls.
We got it.
Go sit outside. Go produce your segment
Explain
by the
that.
pool. Just and sit in the penalty
You thought
box.
it was so next
All
level
right,
that it needed to be explained?
So Amin has run in from the other studio. I was told you were not going to be here this hour. I was told that you were doing oddball next door.
I literally stopped because I heard you guys talk about First of all, you people are very loud. I'm in the studio next door. I'm trying to concentrate. I'm trying to connect with Charlotte. And all we hear is Dan going, Maxie's better than Hero, like yelling at the top of your voice. It's very obnoxious. You're for sure redlining all over the boards. I don't even know if they can use your audio. But I heard the word gemstones, and I literally dropped everything I was doing. I told Charlotte, hey, you just sit there on the Zoom and wait for me. And I ran in here because I needed to talk about this episode that was classic gemstones. It's the kind of thing that makes for this show, that makes it iconic, a cult classic, right? So BJ, who plays the husband of Judy Gemstone, played by Edie Patterson, who does an amazing job. She deserves an Emmy for what she's doing over there. BJ finds out that Judy has been cheating on him with Steven, who, you don't watch Gemstones?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you bastard. Right, but you watch No Hard Feelings, whatever the hell, that bomb of a movie.
Good movie.
No, it's not. You know how I know? Because it's already on demand video. That's how you know it's a bad movie. Good movies stay in the theaters. They stay in the theaters. They don't come to on demand that quick. But anyways, so BJ finds out that Judy's been cheating on him, and so he's all down in the dumps and he's crying, and Danny McBride's character tells him, you got to go kick that dude's ass and reclaim your manhood. So they take him down to the dungeon, and he's training with a heavy bag. And as Danny McBride's trying to coach him up, he's telling him, yeah, you got to knock that dude's dick in the dirt, and then you got to spit on him. And BJ says, so open his mouth and spin his mouth, right? Like, no, just on him. And there's all of these little lines where they're trying to coach him up, and he's doing it not quite right, including talking about coming, which is just an amazing, amazing beat. Dude, if you're not watching Gemstones, you are lost. This show is one of the best comedies on television right now.
Jeremy, I'm with you. I'm enraged that Amin just stole the show to do that. I am told that our video department is claiming that they are up and running. The Elser Hotel is lovely. We do the show live every day. It's a very cool place to be doing the show. And Tony right now, he's been spending more time than I think anybody in our gym. It is a lovely gym, 2 stories, giant gym.
The Iron Temple.
And Tony is now out by the pool. I'm hoping that he can hear me. He is, look at him, Maximum Miami.
I'm looking at him.
He is super sexy beefcake. Okay, this is, yeah. So now he's got papers in front of him. The stage is yours, Tony. This is your shining moment, okay? You have been wanting for a while around here.
Why did it pan down?
To give off the maximum sexy. We are going to get the information now by the pool. Tony, tell us everything. Inform us more on the Dolphins.
Very slowly, by the way.
Okay, you know what? Let's just keep the camera on Tony for a second. Tony, just stay there for a second. We will get to you in a second.
Just flex.
No, but just keep it. No, I want
Just stand there.
I
Make
want
the picture.
gratuitous beefcake. I want the internet. Look, this is a lane for you, Tony. Shirtless correspondent by the pool in Miami. The show needs to get sexier, and I got to be honest, Amin's not going to do it for us.
What?
That's cold, man.
We're going to get to your stats in a second, but before we do, because I don't want to jump straight from Heat, Lillard, Heat, let's go Dolphins, and the Marlins get sideswiped. I want to point out to Stugotz briefly, briefly. Stugotz, do you have any idea what Arise is batting? What Arise is batting?
Who?
Okay.
I can't stop looking at Tony's nipples. They're about in 1,000. You were saying?
No, Jeremy, I'll talk with Jeremy about this. You continue.
Perfect game.
You continue to gaze at Tony in a way that creeps me out because
my Lord.
This is more of him than you have ever seen.
My God.
Not really.
Jeremy, I'll
more.
have this conversation with you. Are you aware of what Arise is batting with 2 outs and runners in scoring position this season?
I'm not sure the specific stat, but I know it's over 400 at this point.
It's 467 or something. It's some ridiculous thing where I'm watching that sport all the time, and all I see with a man on third and 1 out is there's going to be an out here, a strikeout. It's not going to be a sac fly. These guys have sort of reduced the game to it's all power or nothing, and in this small sliver of space in baseball, there's a place to get runs because a guy's going to hit near 400. And you're like, he can't keep hitting near 400, but he's been doing it now for more than a season. We should stop or more than half a season. We should stop before going to the beefcake and just celebrate even though they're in a losing streak and they're at risk of losing the entire audience right now because they're on the road and Baltimore's really good and they threw up on themselves against St. Louis, and it happens on the road. They're a young team. It's a long season. Before we lose the attention of the Marlins, what that dude has done as the leader of the team, as coming in here from Minnesota, as a batting champion, it deserves celebration.
It's just he's an old school, pure hitter, and how many hitters are like that in today's baseball? You can count on one hand, and that is just the interesting thing about it is he is just hitting like in the 2000s. Now it's just all launch angles and home runs, and he's just short, hands to the ball, and it's just a different style.
He is different than any other hitter in baseball. And there are some people who would criticize that, right? Like, he's not the same type of run producer, theoretically, that some of these bigger home run hitters are. But when you specifically look at what Luis Arias is doing and the way that he's able to produce with runners in scoring position, there's no way to argue that he's one of the best run producers in baseball. Why was Tony in my ear?
No, this is what I was laughing about. I was laughing about is if I could have somehow communicated to you guys, Tony, just stay up there talking to people loudly and not knowing that I'm talking to Jeremy about the Marlins, and just stay there all segment and we'll never go to you. We'll never you're just out there shouting instructions so I can treat you most overtly as a total sex object.
I'm good with that.
Not allowed to say anything on the air.
Get me away.
All right, Tony, give us your stats, okay? Explain to us why I should be excited, for real about the Dolphins.
I'm already excited.
Yeah, well, yes.
I sure do.
Yes, in a second, we will get you. Can you do this? This is what I would like you to do, Tony, if you don't mind. I don't know how expensive those DraftKings microphones are, and I don't know if you'll get electrocuted if you do it.
Don't do it.
But
whatever you're about to tell him to do, Tony, don't do it.
There are children in that pool.
Yeah, for real, man.
No, okay, no, I don't want to do anything irresponsible or anything that would have corporate liabilities. We got to be a corporately responsible show, but I do want you to cannonball in some form so that I can get a payoff from all the beefcake you've been giving us
Put the
here.
mic down.
I do like this as a lane for you, objectified dolphin reporter who's just a Cuban meathead. Right.
We have extra shorts here. Extra shorts.
right.
People got extra shorts.
Executive producer Chris Cody, you're in charge here. What are the liabilities, please?
You know me. Let's roll the dice. Do
All right,
it.
all right, Tony, jump in. I'll be up there in a second with a towel.
Okay, yes. Hold on a second, Tony. Yeah, you
Stugotz is
can't.
getting
All
up.
right, yeah, you can't go right now. Now the power's gone straight to Stugotz's head.
Yeah.
He is hitting on
It's
the
not the only place it's
employees.
gone.
He's hitting on the employees, and
Drying 'em off.
okay, you just want to dry him off.
Don't say that because Stugotz is on his way.
Okay, that is a lot of bicep curls. All right, so Tony, well, let's just keep the camera on him out there. Oh,
yeah.
Tony, tell us about that. No, wait, I heard you were competing. I heard you were actually going to do something with the big three. But you're... All right, I mean, he thinks he can play with these guys. What kind of rude awakening is he in for? The big three is former players,
Yeah.
but they are players of the highest order. Tony thinks he could play with them. We think he continually overvalues his skills as a shooter. He says, I can get my shot against anybody.
Yeah, I don't think. Look, here's the thing. I don't want to destroy anybody's dream. If Tony thinks he can get shots off against former NBA talent, who am I to tell him no? You can't. Having said that, it's not even that they're players of the highest order. Even the guys that were cup of coffee guys are still way better than anyone you've ever played basketball with. And so the thing that who have you played basketball with?
Oh, here we go again. We're
No,
going to
I'm
get
just
the
saying-
Fab Mello story. Wait, Tony, I need...
Name names. We'll suspend all Look at Me, Louise. Name names. Yeah. No. No. Okay. I need it. Yeah. Jason Taylor did not. It's not
Jason
Ron
Taylor.
McGill.
Who?
Well, he's doing other athletes now. He's doing Jason Taylor. Jason Taylor is a very good. This is what I would say. Jason Taylor is a very good basketball player, but I'm kind of surprised and not by the general Cuban arrogance of our meathead correspondent who's here for Beefcake, that he has mentioned great athletes, but he went very quickly to Darrelle Revis.
Yeah.
And what I would say, yes, I'm not disputing that, but not excellent enough to play NBA basketball. I think what Tony underestimates is that even washed players are so much better than anyone he's ever played against.
Right, like you named Tim Hardaway Jr. That doesn't count. You played him in high school, right? Like I'm talking about NBA players. You name Raja Bell. Raja's older than me. Like that's really old, man. Who's the other? Is it Yakuba Diawara? When did? No. I'm not saying you got to go out and get the guys in the league right now, but I'm saying these guys that are playing in the big three. Even Alonzo G. Let me give you him as an example. Alonzo G played in the NBA, had a couple. Yeah. Yes. From Dylan. Did you play against him too? As he does tricep extensions?
All right, but so Tony, we are sending you in to correct me if I'm wrong, okay? Because I was hoping to do something with the people from the Big Three, but I have to get out of here too early to accommodate schedules. You are going to play. You're going to try to get into some games that involve members of the Big Three, correct? This weekend.
Nice delay.
Okay, so we'll get the content from that. Thank you. All right,
where's Stugotz?
We're on delay. We have lost Stugotz, who has run up there with a towel to, I believe, cause a legitimate Meadowlark liability issue on sexual harassment.
That arm's got to be getting tired.
It's got to be. That's a lot. He's
just one arm, too.
He's going to come in after losing to the Big Three, and he's on a bit of delay.
Why is Danny wearing a Stugotz hat?
Is Danny supposed?
It's stunt Stugotz.
I love the idea that Danny is our stunt person. He sits in for Dan. He sits in for Stugotz.
Meadowlark Media has no budget. We only have enough budget for one stunt man.
He's gonna be hosting Oddball next week.
Stugotz ran out of here. I bet you it was to catch a flight. We're not going to see him again. He just pulled a con on us. What he just did is he's not coming back to work. He said, I'll go upstairs.